to SIEM Intelligence. I am Vishnuvardhan Chandapatla. Today we are going to have a webinar on AlienVault or SIEM, that is open source SIEM Intelligence. Okay, so let me give an opportunity to start the session. Prior to going to the session, we'll just have a small introduction about our organization, that is SIEM Intelligence, as well as about me, so that you will have an idea of what we are and how we are going to handle these kind of sessions for our security professionals, right? So, SIEM Intelligence, one of the leading blue teaming and SIEM training provider company, offers wide range of courses as well as trainings with respect to information as well as cybersecurity field. We are one of the fast growing online security training provider company based out of India. We do deal with various kinds of SIEM products, SOC analyst, that is L1, L2 and L3 level, and we do handle with various threat intel activities. And we have a team like highly skilled infosec instructors. We can say they have accreditations like SIS and CISA, and they have accreditations from ISC Square, ISACA, as well as EC Council. And we have a trainers of a minimum standard of 10 plus years of experience in cybersecurity. And we are one of the most trusted and reliable training provider company, which provides unmatched exceptional hands-on practice to the individual as well as corporate sector too. And our goal is to train, mentor, as well as support your career with respect to cybersecurity. So this is a small intro about our company, SIEM Intelligence. Now let's move on to the session. So I am Vishnuvardhan Chandapatla from SIEM Intelligence. I'm a research scholar presently working for doing research on cyber forensics and information security, dealing with hash algorithm management, and I do have so many certifications, like I am a CISA auditor, and I'm a certified security cybersecurity from ISC Square. I did architect level course from IBM or Curador. I'm also SOAR expert. I did so many small security certifications like Tech Plus, Network Plus from CompTIA, and I'm a NSC, DSC, DFE, and certified SQL hacker, network security administrator, and cybersecurity analyzer from EC Council. So I have an enormous experience of more than 18 plus experience in IT and more than 14 plus experience in exclusively IT security. So these are some of the brief introductions of my career. So I worked as a system administrator at the start of my career for more than 5 years. So there I was work as a system as well as network administrator. I handled multiple legacy networks as well as more than 30 plus various type of services in a legacy network. And there during those period I was a Linux architect. I did my RSCA in version 5, version 6 as well as version 7. Right now though it is 8, but I was a triple certified architect in Red Hat. And then I became a certified cybersecurity coordinator as well as IHT, that is incident handling team member, for more than 2 years for cyber emergency response team for Indian, right? And I become a system and network log analyst in Splunk category exclusively for network operation centers, where I handle NIC servers. That is network information informatics center, that is of India. So I worked as a NIC center network log analyst, specifically related to Splunk. Then I worked in so many other SOC environments, I worked as a SIEM administrator where I handled Wazoo, and I became an operations manager where I handled IBM Curator. Then I moved on to chief analyst where I have handled Sentinel and Azure Directory Plus and the Exchange Supporter Plus for a data center. Presently, I am a chief security analyst for cloud management and a structural global solution. Right. So these are my various career progressive steps which I have opted during my entire life. Moreover, you can say I have handled various systems. So where you categorize like I have handled data security, network security. I covered most of the security part as well as services part of information technology. I do offer SOC training sessions of SOC analysts that I said L1, L2, L3, and I do provide IBM QRadar, MITRE attack modeling, and COP, TR Security Plus, as well as Network Plus, and others. See, it consists again, there are a lot many things. I do handle so many other SOC sessions too. Since 2007, I have been working as a, I'm providing as a, I'm offering these trainings, right? So this is about a small intro about myself, and then let's move on to the category. So present agenda. So what is actually AlienVault? What is OSIM? Understanding of AlienVault OSIM. What is the categorization? What is the best practices of OSIM? What actually OSIM it is? What is the meaning of a SIEM? We are talking about open source SIEM and a commercial SIEM. Now, what is SIEM? Now, how it competitor to each other like AlienVault, Curator, Splunk, and Sentinel, and who can use this particular AlienVault as a SIEM? The most important area, who can use this? Because, and we'll go towards practical approach of how to detect an attack, right? So this is the agenda of the session. So let's deep dive into the session. Anyone has any queries?
No.
Yeah. So let's move on to the session. We can say first we'll start about a small concept, right? First we'll understand what actually OSIM. So prior to OSIM, we need to know what is actually information with respect to IT security. Can anyone answer? So basically, I'll take a small change. Yes. Now let's say what is information. So this is what actually where these entire professional come into the picture, right? Information start, trigger of the activity, triggering of the activity. Let's say there is a system. This system starts. I switched on this particular machine. So one activity triggered. Now what is the activity? This is start. Similarly, if there is a start, there may be a stop. Like there is a restart, right? So this is known as a activity. Now information is what? Now information is what means trigger of the activity at a specific time, or you can say specified time or given time. So triggering of the activity is known as specifying of the time. Something like we can say something happened Something happened. Now what happened? Start of the activity, the start of the system, shutting of the system, restarting of the system. Now this is something happened at a specific time, let's say at 8 a.m. So this is the information, right? This is what information that what we are getting. Now let's say there is something like event. Event is something like information plus info plus audit trail of the audit trail. Now what is the audit trail? Audit trail is something like information is what something happened at some time. Now audit trail is something like who did. Who did means who actually initiated this particular start or stop or a restart. Now let's say similarly, where did. Where did means whether it may be this machine or this machine, or let's say it is HR mission, let's say it's operational, let's say it's marketing. On which machine? That is where did. Now how did, how it is most important, because has the person come and switched on forcefully physically, or has he done any remote command so that the machine got started, or he might have skipped from some people or unauthorized way of getting inside and switching on the machine. There are a lot many possibilities, right? You may be a legitimate user, you may be a suspicious user, you may be a remote user to do these activities. So this is known as audit trail. Audit trail is something like who did, where did, and how did. And we know the information, that is what happened plus at what time, right? Time of the event, we can say. So this is known as, we can say, event, right? Now the group of events again is known as log, is known as group of events. Group of events to a single machine, let's say if it is a machine, this is known as a log of this particular machine. Let's say I have a numerous number of logs. Let's say I can give an example. There is lot many products, like you can take how many products you people may know. Let's say I can simply categorize into four different types of different types of sources, or we can say log sources, or we can say onboarding servers. We can say different type of log sources from where the logs can be extracted. See, one activity on one machine, two machines. Sometimes inside there are some applications, right? Sometimes the hardware, sometimes the operating system, sometimes what? Audit of some specific things like network. So like there are totally four different type of log sources. We can say one is data services. Data services. Let's say there is a data security services. Whenever we find there is a service of data, there is a data security also there. When there is a network service is there, always there is a network security, right? Network security. Now let's say examples: data security, AD, DNS, database, web server, file server, and so on. There are a lot many. When we talk about data security, it is something like, let's say, DRM, digital rights management. Let's say DLP, data loss prevention, data backup, drive solutions, right? There are a lot many. Let's say classifier, digital classifier service. So there are lot many.
Vishnu, what is the drive solution? I heard about that first time.
See, Google Drive is a drive solution.
Oh, that.
Simply, see,
Okay.
drive solution. One drive is a drive solution. Simply.
Okay.
Yeah. There is something called network services. Let's say hub, router, switch. Like there is some activities happening, right? Logs are going, coming, network sessions are happening. So there is some network log. Someone is configuring the network switches, configuring the router, configuring the middleware of the particular network. That is known as network services. And similarly, network security like IDS, IPS, right? Like UTM, like firewall. Now we have so many things. These are a very small entity that I told you, right? Like there are applications. In data, there are some applications. You may come across some applications, right? The data services, there may be something like open systems. So there are a lot many. There's a very big scope of log sources. Now, going into each and every system is a very difficult task, right? Going into one machine and doing the audit trail, understanding of the what has happened, it's very big task. So it is not at all possible to go inside each every machine and do the analysis of that particular log. It's very difficult. So to overcome, so there are a lot many solutions come into the picture. SIEM, there are a lot many solutions. So we have one of it is known as OSIM. We have one of the thing is known as OSIM. Right? So this particular OSIM. Now what is OSIM? OSIM simply I can say open source security information management. Simple. It's very clear word is something like there is a small, you can say a small acronym that is something like open source security information management. Simple. Know what it is. Actually, it is a careful, free, and always available guardian for your network. Simple. I can say this is a careful, free. The most important is free. The most important is it is free and it is more careful as well as always available. Why I am claiming always available? Because this OCM has a technical support. So generally, no open source is generally give this particular activity like providing of technical support. Generally, they used to give an application and they don't bother about the support. Whereas this OSIM has the capability to take a proper technical assistance from OSIM, that is AlienVault or AT&T. Right now, it is an AT&T, okay, of your activity of your organization. So we can say OSIM is a SIEM solution which is trusted by 1,95,000 plus security professionals. I can say it is, do not compare that. So how many organizations? See, there is a trust built by your security professionals. Okay, there is a trust built by your security professionals across your various countries, various regions, various continents, and still people are quite, it is something like most trusted, you can say, successful solution. And it is actually established to launch security engineers out of the necessity, basically. The features are tremendous, and there are a lot many features are there. We can see what are the possible features are there. Okay. Now this is a basic how AlienVault OSIM looks like. You will find a various tabs like dashboards, analytics, environment, report, configuration. Like you will find a dashboard like this. You can create your own executive dashboard where you can set up your own various widgets, or you can say small items. One is something like top security events, top host, where we are standing with respect to our sources, data sources. What is the visibility of your sensors? This is known as sensor sensing data. And then what is the OTX? Now we'll discuss about that. What are the features that are available for this particular AlienVault? Okay. So like there is the analysis part, environment part, report part, and configuration. Of course, This is only, it looks like a very small area of 5 tabs, major tabs. Under each tab, there are some small other tabs. Oh, it's okay, we'll discuss that. But as we see, it looks like a very simple structure. There is nothing more or nothing less to understand. It is quite clear. Dashboard, the important area. Analysis, where the logs are getting ingested. Environment, where you will write rules, vulnerability management, everything, asset discovery is getting happen. Reports, to create a report. Simple. And finally, the configuration. As I said, it's very simple structure and there is no magic to go beyond your brain hammering. Okay. Now, it's very simple. There are tools. See, basically, AlienVault is a open source solution. It works on a platform of, I'll just take a lead of, a platform. We'll discuss about small 1 more minute regarding AlienVault or SIEM platform. Why? Because we require to know what kind of different platform is being used by OSIM solution. The first and foremost is operating system. Operating system. We should know this is as a part of an architecture. We should know operating system is all about your Debian. It follows Debian like Kali use Debian. By default, there's a Debian OS is there. It is works on platform of Debian OS. It uses a DB. It uses a single DB. There is a database that is MySQL. Right? It uses a MySQL and a framework, front-end framework for HTTP services, HTTPD services framework by Debian. Okay, this simple, this much only. But it includes various other products like it is included with, let's say, some important, various solutions. This is we can say this is a valuable tool. We can say the first one is known as ArcWatch. Most important, ArcWatch, which identified your all MAC traffic. That is MAC address, right? So it is used to monitor your ARC traffic in the LAN. There is something called Nessus and OpenVAS. Nessus and OpenVAS. These are two, popular vulnerability scanners to identify your vulnerabilities in your organization. By default, it is integrated in your OSIM. This majorly OpenVAS. Nessus to be you can integrate this Nessus personally because Nessus is not a free edition. When you are going for a professional edition, you can integrate that Nessus to your SIEM. The third is something called SNOT, the most important area, which is IDS. You can say this is the most popular IDS, which will identify your flows. In the flows, any suspicious activity, it will be detected by your SNOT. There are other small tools, something like Nmap, TCP track. These are the open tools. We can say Nagios for network. This is something like, monitor your and monitor and identify your network. And finally, there is something called OSEC or ORIS, OSIRIS, or you can say OSEC. OSEC. This is another level of HIDS. We can say host-based IDS. Okay. And there is another tool, a small tool is known as Snare. So it is not a single entity. OSIM is not a single entity which only works in the name of a platform or a DB or a front-end framework. It is a combination of various open source tools. It's a combination of ARP, Nessus, OpenVAS, SNOT, and the most important is Nagios, OSEC, Nmap, which will identify and continuously monitor your scope of approach because you are generally integrating logs. See, the logs are getting integrated to your sensor, where the plugins like, see, these are the plugins like, you can say, you can enable IDS, Nmap, TCP track, or you can say snot and all, which will identify your, which will generally identify your suspicious activity. Got it? So the AlienVault components are something like, there are a lot many other components, something like sensor, database, framework, and a management server. However, inside there is known as some plugins. We can integrate some specific plugins like, Nmap, Nessus, Artwatch, Nagios to this particular sensor, so that the logs will be normalized here and it will send it to your server area. This server area has some specific, the most important category that is known as OSEC, that will use something like host based IDS, that is intrusion detection system over here, and which will also do the correlation processing in your server. Once it is done, it has a feature, another feature is known as OTX, that is open source threat intel platform. I will show you the platform standard, OTX. That is the feature is called OTX, which is known as Open Threat Exchange. This is by AT&T and it is free of cost. You can integrate this particular threat intel platform to OSIM so that you can identify the reputation of IP directly. You need not to go reputation of IP, domain, and you can say what else we can identify, URL, group, APT group, how important it is, IP domain, URL, and APT group, and user names, and even we can identify MAC, blacklisted MAC address, so we can identify the reputation of that, right? And OTX also has some signatures. It has a capability of signature identifications, like it will identify malware signatures, firewall signatures, HTTP content signatures, right? Content inspection signature, I mean to say, right? So it will identify these signatures too. So OSIM is not a single entity. Now, got it right? OSIM is a combination of multiple things which will actually bring together all this. When we talk about these applications, these platforms, and this threat intel, now this is a combination of all these. Then it can be work as something like OSIM. Now, what OSIM can do? Now the question is something like, OSIM can do what? Let's say there is an architecture. These are the OSEC agents are installed in it. Some malicious activity happened. The logs are getting passed and it is reaching to OSEC server. Now we are identifying alerts, reports, and what? We'll find some alerts, reports, and threat intel information and re-investigate whether this particular mission is threatened of this by using vulnerability assessment. Even you have a capability to manage this as an asset manager. So AlienVault has a capability of integration of asset management. That means you can integrate a number of, you can count your assets, you can manage your assets, you can identify the vulnerability of the assets. That is possible in your AlienVault OSIM by re-identification of the data. Okay. So like the attacker is attacking, the suspicious log will be created over here. Similarly, once it's processed to OSEC server, that OSEC server will give you the alerts, because we might have written some alert rules, we might have written some correlation rules, we might have written some anomaly rules, right? On the basis of these, it will create the alert, and if there may be possibility of triggering some report or sending some mail or creating some next level, that is possible. Okay, so AlienVault is having these many features. Now, how the work process happens. So we have a 5 essential capability of detection and response for this, for exclusively OSIM. When we talk about, we have a capability of asset discovery, as I said, we can do, we can set up the network range saying that this is my network asset. If anyone is there of this range, just be the part of mine and it will be added to your database, so that will be keep on monitoring in mode by doing some vulnerability assessment on your assets. So once your assets is getting discovered, on that assets you can do a vulnerability assessment through remotely, and the scan, you can do a regular scan, you can do you can schedule a scan, you can do a ad hoc scan as and when required. And threat detection. So once the threat, as I said, OTX is getting injected, OTA is getting injected to this particular OSIM. So you can easily understand, according to your asset, is there any possible vulnerability, that is a threat detection is also identifying the same, which will be give the whether am I being attacked or not, right? So then the behavioral analysis, the understanding of your user as well as a mission behavioral analysis can be possible through this particular OSIM. And finally, we can do some intelligence and analytics, that is a correlation and external intelligence, which give you a tremendous response to your attack, so that it will be pre-attack detection. The post-impact, pre-impact, it will get detected as well as it will be get caught, and will do some incident response against that. Now, this is all about your OSIM. Now, if you see, this is the attack process, how the attack process happens, where and what will take care of what. Attacker did some attack, which is attacked over here. Now, as soon as it reaches to OSEC, it reaches at the last. Prior to this, as soon as it reaches to your sensor, it will be imposed with, because this particular asset got discovered in my machine, it will be imposed a vulnerability assessment. It is any alert, OTX. Is there any snort detection? Is there any firewall acceptance or deny? So these are by default are getting discovered, and it will give you a alert. It's saying that is a IS attack got detected. Now, what was IS attack? Not detected. That was a web IIS multiple decode attempts. So it is saying that there is a IIS remote command execution vulnerability. So this is what internally for the same source and the same destination, there was found, there is a attack was found, as well as there is a vulnerability identified. That means attacker was intentionally come here to do this particular attack. Now we identify there is a low reputation of IP of this particular source, from where OTX platform, as I said, you can integrate this OTX platform to your OSIM. As soon as it identified any suspicious this particular IPs, it will be automatically get triggered saying that this is your low reputed IP. So that please be cautious on this. It's having some suspiciousness. So here, don't think that low reputation means it's a good. Low reputation means it doesn't have a good reputation. Okay. Low reputation alert means low reputation of IP means that is having some suspicious. If the reputed IP means, if I say a reputed person, that means we can say he's a very important, or a very important person we can consider. Right? Similarly, low reputed means it is not considering as what we are thinking. Right? Now, OSIM has also come up with, as I said, there's internal ideas which do a log monitoring and collection. Rootkit detection, as I said, it contains, what it contains not. So it can easily identify any signature-based rootkits or bootkits, whatever. And it will check the file integrity checks, because it will do content inspection too. It will check registry integrity checking, active responses to the various things, because so it is, as soon as it detects, it will throw, which will give us on our dashboard. OSIX uses something like authenticated server as well as agent architecture, server agent, or you can say server client architecture, right? So we have, as I said, we have a environment where we have a, known as some vulnerability management. We can do in OpenVAS scanner, we can do some vulnerabilities. We can identify correlate with our cross correlation rules. We can identify some compliance reports, but not fully functional as it is an open source. They have its own limitation. We'll discuss that. What is the difference between a commercial and a open source? And manage from central SIEM solution. You can run a vulnerability managed scan, or you can schedule, and you can set up a on and off scanning, examining the reports, updating your vulnerability signatures. Because see, it's not mean that you have a vulnerability scanner, it will be on the day of installation. You keep on update that particular plugin. The vulnerability scanner can be updated in a day-to-day nature or whatever the time you want to do. Okay. Now let's say see how to do the vulnerability scheduling. So there's an operation called new job. You can import the data from NSS or OpenVAS, specify the job name, specify the job name, Wait a while. One minute. Sorry. Yeah. So, sorry, there was a small delay. Yeah. So we can schedule a vulnerability scanner. We can do a continuous setup, on and off setup, and if you want to give any schedule authentication kind of thing, those things you can do over in this particular schedule area. We can do it practically once we plan. Okay. So, but there is a, see, as we can say, OSIM, it remains a technology, of course, right? See, it's like underpinning the collaborative efforts of a community as well as AlienVault. It is not a single person's pain. It is a combination of community people as well as AlienVault. Just like Fedora and Red Hat, or you can say WordPress or Automatic. So there is a symbiotic relationship. So when they do this kind of things, they used to provide some community like what we used to see here, that is OSIM. And for this OSIM, there is a commercial version. This is known as USM. This is by AT&T, or you can say AlienVault USM, Unified Security Manager. So this OSIM has a community edition with these features, like it can do asset discovery, it will do a vulnerability assessment, it has a feature of intrusion detection and a behavioral monitoring, and it has some correlation rules. And as I said, we can do OTS integration. These are the important categories. Over and above, you can use weekly updated threat intel, right? It will integrate 3000 plus rules, asset discovery, new techniques, IDS techniques, and vulnerability assessment signatures from AlienVault, because this is a US, and it will keep on updates, and you will get a specific license for this, right? And the cloud monitoring possible in USM. In OSIM, it's not possible because you cannot integrate any cloud-based mission. And a security orchestration, that is SOAR capability, is possible over here in a Alien app. Do you have a capability of integrate Alien app? That is Alien app storage is sorry, there is a source is there, Alien app. You can go and download the various the particular applications and you can integrate to USM, which is not possible in your OSIM. Third-party ticketing software integration. Basically, OSIM doesn't have any ticketing. It has a basic ticketing solution, but if you want to integrate ServiceNow, Jira, Service Manager kind of things, that can be integrated through your USM. And customizable reporting and robust logging and the log management. The most important is something like you can storage the log in USM. You can't storage the log in OSIM. You can see the real-time data only. You can't do the storing of that particular data. That is not possible in OSIM. Whereas USM, it is possible. There is no issue of the number of data that can correlate, but data cannot be stored in OSIM. Whereas in USM, it can be stored. This is the most important area where OSIM gets lagged. Though the other features not there, we can sustain. But in a OSIM, it looks like remains same. OSIM as well as USM, both are remain same and is one of the reputed, and it plays right now, it is in a 12th position in all SIMs, more than in 200 SIM products, it is at 12th position. Imagine how sustainable product it is, right? So USM is having 10th in position, OSIM has in 12th according to Gartner, reputation of the particular software and various.
Open source.
Yeah.
It's an open source.
Which one? OSIM.
Yeah. No. Vault.
What?
Vault is an open source platform.
AlienVault.
Yeah,
AlienVault is something like, it's a product-based company which it produces so many products. One is that OSM out of it.
Okay.
And the USM is another one. USM is a commercial version of OSIM. Okay.
Perfect.
So if you see the reputation, AlienVault versus QRadar with Splunk and Sentinel, because these are the most marketed in India, we can say, if we say not only in India, most reputed SIEMs across the globe, if we see, it places startup with now, it's a why it is more important, we should know, because let's say there's an on-premises SIEM, there's a cloud-based SIEM, there's an open source SIEM, there's an enterprise level SIEM. Now, what works for what? So if you see here, the most blues are in the Sentinel, because it is now very reputedly using by most of the cloud-based organizations. Most of the companies are moving towards cloud. That's why the response towards Sentinel is quite more comparatively OSIM. It's not mean that it is less. It is only the matter of the driven. The driven matter is only very small. But it is free. It is not free. Right? And even this is one of the famous with respect to, and there's a only small difference between Microsoft Sentinel and a QRadar. This is very famous because see, optimized for quick responses. It has its own specialty because it works for the on-premises category. When we talk about on-premises category, one of the easiest things. Whereas you think this is also on-premises, but the ease of the admin is quite okay in QRadar. It's quite easy in QRadar. Right? Product quality and how good the partner doing the business. The reputation looks like almost same, 8.6 and 8.9, almost near real. Okay, you can imagine the product looks like very same, and the ease of doing business with the customer support is also very easy. And but when you talk about the product direction, positive 2006 is more in QRadar and 7.4. But when we talk about the cost management, there's zero cost management. This is zero cost management, and it is also somewhat lesser, more or less. It's okay because people are thinking nowadays cloud is something like more cheaper than. it's not a cheaper in terms of management of resources. So they don't want to manage a very heavy resources, so they are looking over towards Sentinel. Sentinel is basically a web-based cloud platform for understanding your log management, basically, right? So more or less all are at a level of, I mean, see, Indian market grab these four products in a reputed in a manner. It's more, when we talk about SIEM, they always talk all these four. Generally, in general, either you find a Curator or a Splunk or Sentinel or a SIEM. Some are very rare. You will find something like Micro Focus, or you can say some other products, but that's a different manner. But you generally find these are the reputed. And if you see the reputation, it reaches almost very near real. We cannot compete with, we cannot compete in this kind of scenario with a point session. But if you see here, it almost looks like a point pointer. Whereas when you come into the matter of cost, OSIM is a very, very cheap product compared to all these. But if we are not a product we are just a product handler. We are not a, let's say, if we are not a managers to purchase these kind of things, or we are not a company to. So let's say if it's a product handler, then also the difference in the reaction is not that so issue. It's almost at par with the other competitive SIEM. So it has a very good scope of approach. When you see the other things, sorry, wait a while, I need to one more. Yeah. So when we talk about now implementation, who choose what kind of, we can say, let's say I want to use Curator, but why? I want to use Sentinel, but why? Like OSIM, why you need to choose this? Why you need to choose? Is the most important area. Okay. So let's take a small example. You are an organization. You started your career, right? So you start up one production based company or something where there's a requirement of security handling is required, but you can't afford right now. You can't afford right now with respect to information security because you don't have that much of capital to manage your company because it's very costly, right? So when we start understanding a small and a mid-based organization, we can say small and mid-level organization, I always recommend OSIM. Because it's very easy to manage, very easy of finding some technical support, as well as it is free of cost. But it has its limitations on the other hand, which we have seen. We can't store the logs. We can't do compliances. Compliance management is not possible in this area because it's a free of cost, right? They can't provide all the time full-fledged support, but somewhere you are finding at least it's something like, it's much better to have some visibility on your security posture instead of nothing, right? So for a small and mid-level organizations, I do recommend that this OSIM for identifying threats as well as exploitation of your organization. So most of the small startup companies used to follow this particular. That's why in OSIM, though it is one of the oldest product of SIEM, and in between the people said it will be something like diluted and there will be no more updates come, but this is the one product which is still providing. The present version is 5.8.14. This is one of the most stable versions, right? This, and it is providing the maximum features of all open sources like not, or you can say all OpenVAS or NSS scanning, or you can take other features like OTX that is free for you. But over and above, the limitation is something like you can't handle store the log, you can't do historical search, because if there is no log, how we will do historical search? Historical correlation and search is not possible. This is not possible. Compliance is not possible because compliance can only be happen when you store the logs, right? But the real time approaches are very clear. At least you have a visibility on your your resources or assets, what kind of threats or what kind of attacks are being getting happen to your organization, as when you are integrating your, because you have a very small resources, right? Because when you are a small or a mid-level organization, it is something like you may have some 50 to 100 missions. So for the investment on the enterprise level SIMs are something like very burden to the organization. So to overcome this OSIM plays a very vital role, and it provides a very greater approach towards your security visibility. It gives you very numerous design of your you can say security posture. You can easily identify, you can do asset management, the most important part of OSIM. You can do the asset management, how many assets are getting ingested, how many are getting out, what is the last login, what you can do, what is the asset management along with the vulnerabilities. You can identify all those things. You can do a continuous eye on that particular OSIM area, right? So this is the most important part of our OSIM lecture. Now, let's say the enterprise. So we can sustain this along with the OSIM. There is an approach of other products too, the emerging products of India. We can say Sentinel, Splunk, and QRadar. Most of the market has grabbed by Splunk and QRadar. Of course, we know this is a known truth. In India, QRadar and Splunk grabbed the whole market because because of ease of admin. The most is something like it's because of ease of admin. It's quite easy and quite manageable, and it is enterprise level on premises. When we talk about on premises, QRadar and Splunk are two very powerful tools in terms of identifying all the features. It has every feature, right? And over and above, when we talk about cloud, as soon as cloud come into the picture, Azure plays a very vital role in the cloud marketing. Azure plays a very vital role in India, and Sentinel has a very good scope because as it is a, but these are enterprise level, mid to enterprise level. If it is something like,
Vishnu,
yeah,
do you guys have provided the Sentinel training as well?
what?
Do you guys have provided a Sentinel training as well?
Yeah, we provide all these four. We provide all these four training sessions to each and every individual.
Sentinel, because it's not mentioning anywhere. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, see, it is a corporate level training. So it generally comes with cloud-based trainings and all, right. So we do. It's not mean that we don't do one-on-one training. We do one-on-one training. We do even take a normal training. But generally, these Sentinel and all, they come up for a corporate level training. So right now we are giving it a corporate levels only this. But we are already planned to go through this as a standard market of provision. As you people already know, QRadar and Splunk and OSIM is already in place. So the Sentinel is also soon we will get a schedule.
In my office, there is a huge demand of this product, Sentinel.
Sure, always, right? So this is how our approach towards various SIEMs, right? Now, when we talk about AlienVault, see, as I said, so it has a 4 components of sensor, server, framework, and database. So these particular sensor will work out as you can say, when we talk about the architecture prospects. This the sensor has something like RSys log server, which generally works on port 514 to receive the logs over the network devices and stores them locally. Here it is stored for a local till it reaches to here. It's not permanently stored, it will store here. And there is something called OSIM agent. OSIM agent consists of various plugins. Now, what are those plugins? Like I said, right? Simple plugins. Snot, ArcWatch, Nmap, Nagios. So they have the things. And other things like log analysis and normalization data, some parsing sensors, right? So these are the part of your OSIM agent. And once the logs will parse through this area, and which will which will give you something like output, and those output will go to OSIM server. In the OSIM server, I said it has a capability of doing correlation. This area is having C, event correlation, and it is sending to event database. Not all the data, only the correlated data will go to your storage, right? And it will show in the front as a TCP connection, MySQL connection, is a front web GUI. So this is a structure, and this particular database is
For
considered to be, yeah.
Vishnu, for this AlienVault, what's the backend database server we have used?
MySQL.
MySQL.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it will do these kind of activities. So the functionalities
Hello,
are
Vishnu.
something like, yeah.
Hello, Vishnu.
Yeah.
We get notes for
What?
all the thought you given as far as now.
Yeah, we do provide notes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we do provide notes like for example, see, this is my OSIM documentation. Let's say, see, this is my OSIM documentation. See, everything has been placed in a such a beautiful manner, so you can come to know how it works, right? The entire process of approach, right? You can identify how it comes, how it looks, everything is placed, okay, till conclusion, right? So, like we do provide documentation for every activity, not only this, but this is a presentation where you will understand easily because this is the outline of the thing, and present documentation is also along with this, okay? And these are the practical. Now, in the next session, the next webinar, we planned one more this particular AlienVault practical approach where we are going to, because today just we had an overview of what AlienVault it is, what kind of OS it uses, what kind of DB it uses and all. Now we'll have a one more small practical approach on the next week or within the near future. We are going to give one more webinar where we will set up our home lab setup, what is the prerequisites and all for AlienVault OSIM. We will install in a virtual environment and what are the things to be done after post installation and how to do the asset discovery, most important area, right? Once we do the asset discovery, in an asset discovery, how we will schedule a vulnerability scanner that we will see in a real-time experience, so that you will get an idea how AlienVault OSIM works. So the real-time approach of home lab setup of virtual LAN environment or virtual virtual workstation or virtual box, and we will see the practical approach of how asset discovery will happen and attacks on authentication, the brute force attack, multiple login are followed by successful login, that is password spraying, we can say. We'll see these two kinds of attacks on authentication on that particular webinar. And we also have a webinar, a specific attack approach of virus attack incidents specifically and its defense process, how to do the defense, that is how to do the incident response to that. Then a use case on spear phishing mail. I will tell you how we'll identify the spear phishing mail and what to be done during the spear phishing mail once it is generated. So these are the 4 attacks on the and the home lab setup will be covered on the next webinar, which will be conducted in very near future. Okay. Any queries related to this particular AlienVault understanding? So, and prior to that, I would like to give a small pre-install requirement, because all people used to come up with the webinar. They do ask, sir, we also plan to practice along with the session. See, it's very easy. I will tell the requisites. It's also very small. OSIM a minimum prerequisites, right? OSIM prerequisites we required. Simple, we required a minimum 2-core processor, very common processor, and we require minimum 8 GB RAM. Simple. If you have 6 GB also, no problem. We can go with the 8 GB or it is okay. Okay. Then we required a minimum 200 GB of hard space, HDD space. If it is less than, it is around 120, 150 is also okay. Okay. And you need to have a VMware or VirtualBox in your machine to be supported. Okay. And finally, the OSIM software, that is osim.iso, you will find in the following link. I will give the link. Okay. Wait. This is the link area, so people can use this link. Okay. Just otherwise, I will even share over this one. Our yes. Yeah. So this is about your minimum prerequisite. So in the next webinar, in a small of our practical approach, we'll set up how to do home lab and a virtual environment. So keep your, I recommended VMware, or if you have VirtualBox, no problem. That is, it's user friendly. Now you take whatever you choose. The post installation asset discovery, I will show you in a practical scenario what are the things to be done. It's a very smaller and it's a area of minimum 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. The installation will be over. However, I will show you in a fast manner. Don't worry. And we'll see the asset discovery, how to set up your asset discovery and do a small schedule scan. And after that, once we start getting the logs, once we integrate some log sources to our machine, even is a possibility, we will see the integration process too. Or else at least I will give you an approach how to integrate your various log sources. Okay. Then once it is done, we will generate some attacks, intentional attacks, something like multiple login failures, brute force, and viruses. Once it is generated, it will give you some various alerts. Then according to the alert, we will respond whether it is a false positive, true positive, and along with that we will identify the type of alerts. That is something like what is the difference between true positive, false positive, true negative, and false negative. We will also understand that in the next webinar. So any queries, guys, related to this particular webinar, and more or less, this is one of the precious session, because here we are just handling something like, people are running behind various commercial licenses and identifying your various SIMs. But there is just to make you you can say, just it's a small reminder that there are also so many other products like Wazoo, like this particular So SIEM is also there to provide a very good, SIEM and security visibility of your organization, right? Any queries? Yeah, thank you, Sai. Mr. Sai has given no doubts, and it's a great honor to take this particular webinar. Yeah, the session got recorded, no problem. So, thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Babulal asked the question something like, I have a question, what will be your class time? So once the classes related to the CAA, certified Alien Vault analyst and architect, if it is planned for, so far it's planned. So we used to have sessions in the evening, start from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So we generally plan in any one of the session, okay? This is a weekday sessions generally we do plan, so we'll tell you. And our team just consult our session. If you just contact or call to this particular WhatsApp number, Mr. Rohan will be there, so he will assist you related to all possible, session plans. Mr. Ken Chain, it is CST. Let me tell you. It's a small difference of half 7. It is around half an hour delay. If it is at 7 o'clock here and at your it is 7:30. If it is 8 o'clock here, then your session starts from 8:30. Sorry. It is exactly 11 hours, not 12 hours. It is 11 hours, sorry to say. It is something like if it is a morning 8 o'clock means for you, it is a night 8 o'clock on an average. Okay? And our sessions between generally 7 p.m. IST to 10 p.m. IST. And not only this, the sessions will be planned accordingly. If the sessions planned and the schedule of the sessions, you can contact Rohan. He will help you out what are the various possible sessions are there. So according to that, you can continue that. Okay. And yeah, sure. Sure, Mr. Narayana Swami, okay, we will send you a reminder in this regard. Okay. Mr. Ken Chen, please contact our admin team on the below given number. So he will assist you regarding the charges and all with respect to the sessions. And Mr. Venkatesh Durga has asked some query, something like, I'm very new to this particular domain. So for SOC analyst, these tools are enough. Yeah, I cannot say this is enough, but as you are very new to this particular domain, this is a very good approach. When you start up with this SOC analyst with these particular tools, you will get a very bright future in SOC environment as a blue teaming member. You will get a very good approach of various attacks, enumerations, and various attacks, and how to handle it. And at the end of the day, you can enjoy those tools. So understanding these tools are mandates for your startup of your career. And not only this, so you require more, but as very new to this domain, this is the beginning. So you have to know at least multiple tools of these, and you will get a good career progression in your life. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Durga. Yeah, Bhagavati Narayana Swami, yes, we are getting certificate. Once you complete the course with the prerequisites, the required requisite time and requisite sessions to be attended and all. Once the sessions gets over, and you will be given with the certificate and along with the CPE credits. Thank you, Mr. Narayan Swami. I think it's quite lengthy, but so guys, how you felt? Small, any the actual session classes are there. Are see these webinars are see according to us this particular sessions are free because these are webinars. So we do conduct various activities. But when you join for some certification course of anything, those are paid services. So please contact the fee structure and all to SIEM Intelligence. It's not so heavy compared to all other institutions. Quite fair and quite good. Yeah, a certificate. Yeah, this certificate will be given once your service, your session is closed, and once at the end of the certification, you will be given with even CPE credits, continuous program environment establishment credits, which will use for to you can redeem in any other areas too, wherever the CPE credits required. Uh, so guys, I hope Mr. Babulal, please contact on the given number, or you can send a mail to us so that we can discuss according to the various and you can visit SIEM Intelligence site too. You can visit this particular site, siemintelligence.com, where you will be given with all wait. Please visit this particular site even. Visit this particular www.siemintelligence.com from various courses where people will be given with numerous materials as well as how to what is the course structure and the syllabus of the particular course and all that has been given in this particular course area. Okay. Sure, Mr. DWI, I don't know exactly what your name, but we will send a PDF on a group. Thank you so much for contacting us. Okay, guys, I hope you people have enjoyed for this particular, yeah, you people have enjoyed this particular session of webinar, and I hope we will meet soon to have the further next session. That's the practical approach of AlienVault that we will try to conduct in the next week, or most probably weekend. We will give a reminder to all of you, and you will get you will please join there, and you will get a good approach how OSIM works and all. You will get a great approach, and you will even how to handle this particular this particular OSIM in a faster manner. You will get a fair idea how to handle a OSIM. Further, then you can enjoy the sessions in the session time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this particular webinar, and it's a great honor to. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Guys, please join the this particular WhatsApp group so that you will get a continuous notification on upcoming webinar. So the chat WhatsApp has been given in the particular chat area. Please join there. You will get continuous notifications related to a new webinars, upcoming webinars, and whatever the new webinars will be conducted and demonstrated by us and all that will be shown in this particular WhatsApp area. And you will be get upgraded along with the security events too. Wherever there is a new kind of security incident, we used to even post the updates of those. You will get a very good idea of what is a trending attacks or a trending securities that has been happening in the market, that you will be get an idea. Once again, thank you so much, guys. That's all for the day. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.